So I'd like to introduce our first speaker. During her almost 20 years of her career, she's developed leadership skills with the experience to translate a strategic vision into actionable plans and drive organizational success. Over the course of her tenure in Omantel, she's been part of many organizational change initiatives that have impacted people's growth and potential. She's results-oriented, approachable, and a motivated individual. She has worked on utilizing her experience to fulfill the company's strategic requirements while addressing people's aspirations and development. She currently leads one of the most strategic functions in HR with important initiatives in succession planning, performance management, talent acquisition, workplace planning, and many more. I'd like to welcome our first speaker, Ibtihal Mohammed Abdullah Al Riyami, the General Manager of Organization Planning at Omantel.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you, Amr, for the wonderful introduction. My name is Ibtihal Al Riyami. I've worked for almost 20 years in Omantel, mainly all in HR. So this kind of conferences are very important places to be there because we are the receiver of higher education and education programs. So today I'm going to talk about a very important journey that we took last year in Omantel, which is the inclusion of a specific segment in the employment market, which is the Gen Zs. Okay, this is also another skill that we need to test. This direction? Yeah. Okay. There. Okay. Thank you, Hamid. So how did it all start? I understand that the discussion of generational gaps is controversial. There are people who think that generational differences exist within organizations or within the people. Others think, no, it's just a progression of how people grow within their careers. However, we started from a different aspect. We looked at the demographics at Omantel, and we noticed that we have a gap in the young generation in Omantel. And we felt that put us at a challenge, especially that we are a telecom organization, that we need to make sure that we are always adaptable to the new innovations that are happening. We need people who speak to our customers. So all of these elements led us to design this program and make sure that we do it for specific reasons. One of them is we needed to create also cultural change in Omantel. We wanted people to make Omantel's culture ready for the future. We also wanted to ensure that we are always innovative and agile within Omantel, and we wanted also to make sure that this program will create a learning platform for graduates in Oman. We believe that such initiative will not only benefit Omantel, which was the main objective, but also the market, because after the graduation of these trainees, so it's a training program, it's not a recruitment program. We believe that after the graduation of these graduates, who will be absorbed at Omantel, maybe, depending on the situation at the time of their graduation, but also they will enrich the market with skills that are, and graduates that are compatible with the requirement of the businesses and the organizations.
اسمي ضياء الرزاقي من جيل زد.
اسمي محمد اليعقوبي وأنا من جيل زد.
اسمي تسنيم البحري وأنا من جيل زد.
Okay, so when we set ourselves ready to start this program, we needed to make sure that we select the right candidate for this. We had to define what do we need out of these graduates. So because our objective was also clear that we needed innovation and agility within the organization, that we needed culture change, we made sure that our selection was also very specific to these groups. We wanted people who are digital native, which usually the Gen Zs are that. We wanted them to bring their unique perspective to the organization. So we wanted people who are able to think creatively. We wanted energetic people who will be able to really bring their self to the organization. We wanted people who are non-conformers. We didn't want people who just go with the flow. Actually, we wanted them to come and tell us, no, Omantel, you're doing this wrong. What do you need to change? We wanted change makers, because once you bring them in, you need to allow them to make the change that you require within the organization. And we want them also to collaborate and learn, whether from the organization itself or from themselves together. And that was all informed in the decision, in the selection process that we took. We made sure that we sourced the candidates rightly. And we also made sure, we had 2 batches, just to clarify. 2020 started in March and ended March this year. And June 2021, we started another batch, which are still in their learning journey. So even us, through these 2 different experiences that we went through, we made sure that we learned from this process. So whenever we had to make adjustments, we made it. Example, in 2020, we sourced the CVs directly from universities. And we made sure that we pick the people who we see fit the profile that we're looking for. However, when 2021 came, we thought, because again, the number of 2021 was also larger, the batch went from 25 to 65. So we made sure that we open up this opportunity for everyone. So we get to give the chance for everyone to actually present themselves the way that they want. We used an AI tool to actually sift the first process. So there were a couple of changes that we made in the process itself, and allowed us to hopefully select the right people, which actually we will see through the journey that we did. As I said, that in 2020 we had 25 candidates. They were mainly in the commercial areas. So they were business, enterprise business, consumer business, digital marketing, market communication, marketing. Because it was the drive of the function itself. They needed people of those caliber. However, it was good for us to try it in one function first before we move into a bigger scale. In 2021, because of the success of that group, everyone came and said, okay, I want Gen Zs in my department too. So we had to actually increase the number. And this year we have 65 candidates who are really energetic and excited. There was, I'll play the video.
تتذكروا أول يوم في برنامج جيل زد؟ كنت متحمسة ألف.
كنا داخلين ورا بعض لأن كل واحد ما عارف وين المكان، فكل واحد يحتمي بالثاني.
ما أنسى في أول لقاء مع الرئيس التنفيذي لما قال لنا
اسأل ولك صلاحية التغيير. من هني عرفت إن عندنا الضوء الأخضر للتجديد.
مرة من المرات واحد من رؤساء التنفيذيين قال لي أنت على غلط، وأنا كنت مصر إني أنا الصح. قال لي نتلاقى بعد الميتينج، وبالفعل بعد الميتينج تلاقينا وطلعت أنا الغلط.
تتدرب في زمن الكورونا.
لا، وبعد أونلاين.
تخيل نفسك إنك تكون مشغول وإنت في البيت.
التجربة معاكم كانت جدا ناجحة وتفوقت على كل توقعاتنا، لذلك قررنا نوسع نطاقات التدريب مع شباب مليانين طاقة ومليانين حماس.
أتمنى لكم التوفيق في هذا البرنامج راح يغير كثير من قناعاتكم،
لأنك راح تتعاون وتتشارك مع طاقات محلية وخبرات عالمية،
واستغلوا كل يوم تتعلموا فيه شيء جديد، ومهما يكون في ضغط عندكم استمتعوا باللحظة اللي انتم فيها.
And that was an important obstacle that we faced at the beginning of the program. The program was intended to be a physical program where the graduates would be at Omantel premises. They will learn through interaction with different people, but Corona happened. And we had to shift immediately to online. It was not easy, specifically at the first point. These are people who never experienced working in an organizational environment. So it took them time until they get, but we learned through that, us in Omantel and them too. Okay, so now I'll tell you a little bit about the journey and what did we make sure that we embed in this journey to make it successful. First, as I said, there were 2 batches and the batches had different caliber. One important element that we made sure is that we didn't look at specialization. And I know this created a lot of questions and a lot of discussions, even from graduates themselves. We wanted to make sure that we have diverse specializations within the teams, especially in areas that does not really require a specific skill, for example, IT or finance. We wanted people who came from different fields, that maybe geology and go to marketing. We wanted for them to bring their unique perspective into their area of work and make sure that they learn through that. And it was really impressive the way that they learned, even if they're not really in an area that actually fits their specialization. And as I said before, the functions grew from only commercial functions in the first batch to really different functions such as network, engineering, IT, HR, finance. So we really went bigger with the next session. We made sure that these groups have to submit a project by every quarter. For the first batch, because there were 25, it was easy to make them do it every quarter. When it grew a little bit bigger, we made it half a year. And this project has to be very relevant to Omantel and has to be implementable. So it is not something that they think of and then put it in the drawer and that's it. No, they have to really work into implementing this project within Omantel. And they're actually reviewed in their performance of this program through that project also. Training, we made sure, in the first batch, we made sure that we have a set of long list of trainings that they're going to take through the year, and it was supposed to be classroom, but then we moved immediately to an online platform where all of the trainings that we were planned for them was moved there. And we were very impressed that they actually managed to shift easily to these online platforms. And this did not only expose them to the area that we have set for them, but also opened up their learning opportunity to other areas that they might be interested in. So actually it benefited them more at the end. Mentoring, we made sure that they have mentors within the organization and it's at GM level. So these people will guide them to how to solve their problems, how to do their projects correctly, how to go to who when they have any questions. So they meet with them regularly. They make sure that they share their time and their knowledge and experience that they've gained from the previous careers into this generation. We also made sure, because this is a program that is unique to us at the beginning, and we wanted to make sure that we learn from the experience and from their feedback, because we might have thought that this is the right approach for something, but once we implemented it, we hear their feedback differently. So we made sure that we have continuous session, not only with HR, but also even with their CXOs, VPs, and made sure that they give us this feedback and we learn from them. I'll try to be fast. It's only 2 slides left. Rotation, which is a very important element of this program. Usually when trainees come to organization, they come and get fixed into one department and then learn from that department until the training program ends. But for them, we made sure that they don't sit more than 1 quarter in one. They kept minutes. But it was very difficult when the group was bigger. We made sure that, for example, if we have 5 trainees in HR, they would move differently in different functions in HR. Performance, analytics, so they will get engagement sessions in team building exercise was also something that we did continuously with them, whether it was online or was face-to-face when they came back. And one of the important thing is performance. It is very important to make sure that you actually monitor their performance as they go, because they will not be the same people at the end if you did that. And ensure that you embed coaching as you go through the program. There are people who struggle. You have to really bring them in and see what are they struggling about. Changed at the end of the program. The next slide. There's two slides. Slide 8. These are examples of training programs that we offered. They were mixed between behavioral training, soft skills, and things that would improve them as a person, and skills that are functional, that they require wherever they go, and skills that are also unique to the future of Omantel, such as 5G, artificial intelligence, and so on. Next slide. Okay. So this is an important slide, because without having this, you can't convince any management or any organization to do something of sort. Impact is very important. So what we made sure that we actually measure it. This is the first slide, please. We actually measure it. So what did we see? We saw graduates with a very steep learning curve. We saw that they really presented themselves very well at the end of the program in comparison to the beginning. We made sure that we saw that they are competitive in the market, and really have the skills that they could allow them to learn and grow. They were also adaptable. One important note that there was no promises of recruitment. We said it all depends on the budget that would come next year, and the performance of your training. We ended up hiring 23. Some left to other organizations, but yeah, I mean, this allow them to be to get some impact out of this in our business itself. So the final slide is a video.
نحن دفعة برنامج جيل زد 2020 مر علينا 366 يوم 8784 ساعة سنة من كتابة وعروض اجتماعات تخطيط وأشغال متنوعة. ما كلها شغل طبعاً، كان فيها شوية شاي وقهوة. توقعنا أن العمل يكون مكتبي كالعادة، لكن اضطرينا نكمل عن بعد. وعلى كبر التحدي ما وقفنا، اكتسبنا مهارات جديدة، اضطرينا نتخذ قرارات صعبة، صنعنا أثر، كسبنا ثقة أكثر، تعلمنا نكون قد المسؤولية، وطبعاً رفعنا سقف طموحاتنا. في الملخص هالسنة بنينا فيها وبنت مستقبلنا، واليوم نفتخر بمشاريعنا وبصمتنا وتخرجنا. انت الغد.
So that wraps my presentation today. I hope that you managed to see how I managed to express how we are really proud of this group and the group that are coming on. The best part of all, that the people who managed these programs were also young Omanis. So it was really from the youth to the youth. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions.
Thank you so much for that, Ibtihal. If anyone has any questions, if you could write them down, and if you can save them for the Q&A session before the coffee break.